What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. The stock market is going absolutely crazy right now. Tesla's going crazy in after hours on their earnings report. The stock market is at all-time highs. Bitcoin broke $40,000 today. We had the FOMC meeting this week. The stock market is going literally crazy. We have a lot to talk about in today's video. Make sure to stick around to the end. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, Tesla had a great earnings report here, and this is actually really nice with Tesla. They actually flew up in after hours, but they did end up consolidating right back down. And, we see this with earnings a lot, but they could honestly end up anywhere by tomorrow morning. Hopefully they end up higher than $680 where they kind of ran up to. I'd honestly love to see them move above 700 a share, but man, they really beat their EPS, posting a 1.45 versus a 98-cent per share EPS. The revenue was 11.96 billion versus 11.3 billion expected. So they beat on that as well. They had good deliveries this quarter with 201,250 electric vehicles and a production of 206,421 vehicles. So it's pretty good. And honestly, the Q2, the Model 3/Y deliveries for quarter two was up 148% year over year. But the Model S/X deliveries were down 82%. But I do know that the Model S/X, those ones are bought at a way lower rate than the Model 3/Y. So it's good to see that the 3/Y is starting to really heat up with those deliveries up 148%. But man, that good beat on the EPS and just that those good delivery numbers, I think should send Tesla up, which it did. But we'll have to see where they end up tomorrow.
Yeah, this thing is going crazy in after hours. Earnings releases are always so volatile. We can see it ran all the way up to 678 and came right back down, and now it's sitting right around 665. But then, Tom, what is going on with Bitcoin? This thing is exploding.
Yeah, Bitcoin's doing great. I just pulled it up on the trading view chart, but they actually popped up above 40,000 for the first time in nearly 6 weeks. And man, this is an amazing thing to see. They're really holding that 30,000 support very strongly, popping up today. I know we talked about it a lot in last night's video, and today it definitely had some good movement. If we go to like the 5-minute chart on Bitcoin, you can see it kind of sold off at the end of the day, but it had that awesome resurgence. And man, I honestly expect this to keep going up maybe over the next few days. But according to CNBC, a lot of experts attribute this type of move to like Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk talking about it on their little podcast that they had over the past weekend. Kathy Wood was talking about it on there as well. But man, Bitcoin's doing very, very well. And man, it's looking so solid on the daily chart, especially off that 30,000 support. I would expect a lot of people are going to start buying this up.
For sure. So personally, like this has not been confirmed like by any company or corporation or individual, but personally, I think that a whale or like a large institution bought up Bitcoin at these low levels. And I think that had a major like factor into why Bitcoin's exploding. Like I said, that's just my personal opinion, but like it's just moving in such an explosive way. And I'm very excited to see how it continues to move for the rest of the week.
Yeah, me too. And I would say it looks like it's still holding pretty well. There's a pretty good support intraday around $38,000. If we can hold that, I think Bitcoin will end up doing pretty good. But man, that pop was so significant. Don't be surprised if there's a couple days of consolidation before we see more moves. But man, I will say that this pop was very significant. And like you said, it looks almost like a whale or something definitely caused this big rise to happen. And normally, whenever it happens this quickly, within that amount of time, like just a couple hours, like on like a Monday or Sunday night, you definitely have to say that somebody or something definitely put a lot of money into it at once.
You know it. And then, Tom, what earnings do we have next? I know the market has been going crazy and it's only Monday.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of earnings coming up still. Today after close, of course, we had Tesla and Logitech, which were the main two. Tesla really overtook the headlines here, moving up very nicely. But tomorrow we can look at, before open, we have UPS, General Electric, 3M, Raytheon. Those are some pretty big companies there. And then after close, we have another huge day. We have Apple, AMD, Microsoft, and Google. That's probably going to be one of the biggest days. Starbucks is also in there, Teladoc as well, Enphase. So tomorrow after close seems like we're going to have definitely a huge day, as well as after close Wednesday. We're going to have Facebook, Ford, PayPal, and Qualcomm. So there's definitely a lot of earnings coming up. And man, as far as like market cap goes, tomorrow after close seems like a huge day with all those huge tech companies reporting.
You know it. It's a huge week. We have Amazon later too. A lot of huge companies, and we're definitely in for an exciting week. And then on top of that, Tom, we have the FOMC press conference. So basically, Powell will be speaking at around 2:30 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. If he says something crazy, the markets can rally or they can tank. Sometimes they don't do anything with Powell, but either way, he has a lot of influence on the market and the economy, and it is important to tune into those press conferences. But yeah, we have a lot of craziness going on, but let's get right into the member of the day and then the momentum plays for tomorrow. With our member of the day, we have Orange Cat. Huge shout out, Orange Cat. You were an amazing, amazing member of the community. Thank you so much for all of your positivity and activity in the Discord chat. Tom and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being such a positive, great member. But Tom, let's get right into these momentum plays. With the first one, we have Mara.
Yeah, and with Mara, go ahead and make that break up above $30 per share. That'll actually be a pretty good resistance up there, especially with Bitcoin, with the way it's moving. If we see a big move, Mara might pop hugely again tomorrow.
All right, and then Disney, our stock.
Yeah, Disney's moving very well. This is actually looking awesome. Make them break out above 179, but this did not slow down all day.
All right, and then we have UAL.
UAL, United Airlines. You know, these airlines are starting to heat up again, but make them break out above 49.53, the high of the end of the day. If it ends up breaking that in pre-market or something, then make it break 49.60.
Sounds great. So we are watching these three plays for potential day trades tomorrow to the upside, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. But let's get right into the unusual options activity for tomorrow. We are looking at the Zoom 380 strike calls that expire this Friday, July 30th. And this one's a tough one. You know, Zoom had a lot of momentum today. They had a solid close. So I would think that the smart money's longing the play, but then again, it's about $7 out of the money, and it's a weekly, so it can really go either way.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard to say, but Zoom on the daily looks pretty solid. It's actually popping right back up, and I would hope that it definitely continues for tomorrow. It had a pretty solid setup today, and it really held its ground even at close, which I really like about Zoom right now. So hopefully it keeps going up, and I would think that they kind of long these calls as well, but like you said, it is a weekly, so it's going to be pretty risky for them if they did do that, but I would think it's pretty solid.
You know it. All right, well, let's get right into the questions from the previous episode. With the first question, we have Outlaw Star saying, Yo, Mike and Tom, need your opinion on NIO. I have around 1,000 shares. Rumor is financial institutions are selling all shares of NIO. Thank you in advance. And then I asked what his cost basis was, and it's around $10 a share. So he got in this one very early, which is awesome to see. And I don't know about those rumors. I mean, I know that a lot of China stocks have been struggling lately. I like this company for the long term, but at the end of the day, always trust your gut no matter what. It doesn't hurt to sell some of your position. You know, you got in at such an amazing price. I know a lot of people are holding around like $50 a share or like 55, but you got in very early. So I honestly don't think you could make a wrong move. Like even if you just sold off a little bit, it doesn't hurt. Or since you have 1,000 shares, you can write some covered calls on this thing and get a lot of your original investment back.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. He could just write a lot of covered calls up around maybe like $50 a share, like, you know, 45 a share, somewhere obviously up above, pretty far above like where we are right now. But that could honestly lead to some pretty good gains, especially if it starts going down on you in the shorter term. But that's the only thing that probably really keeps anybody away from NIO is that it's a Chinese stock. If it was a normal stock or like a US obviously company, it would do pretty well, I think. But the only problem with it is that it's a Chinese stock. That's the only weird catalyst. I think that they're a great company, and for the longer run, I think that they'll do pretty well. I would honestly make them fall below $40 or something before I started to sell out of it personally. But like Mike said, always trust your gut. And if all these institutions start selling out of these Chinese stocks, then man, NIO could get hit. But keep in mind that I want to see like some people like Kathy Wood and people like that start to sell out of it rather than just some of these banks or institutions.
Yeah, so Neo is a great company. I like them for the long term, but a lot of the China stocks have been getting hammered. You look at Baba, it's down over 7% today. Baidu is down 6%. PDD down almost 9%. So there's just a lot of selling pressure with these ones, and you just have to be careful. But then we have Muscle asking about LCID. So Lucid had its first trading day under the new ticker.
Yeah, it did actually. This was actually really cool to see today. Lucid had a really good actually like opening, you could say, starting at around $26, running all the way up to 29 and then consolidating pretty much for the rest of the day. They did have a nice little pop back up at close. So hopefully they can move up, but man, I'm really hoping that Lucid can start to gain some traction and actually, get some production going, get some sales and then maybe start competing with Tesla on a very, very small scale. But for right now, they're still kind of in that very beginning phase. So it can honestly go either way, but I like it right now, to be honest. I think it's still pretty low as far as their price goes. And if you looked at like the old charts of CCIV was pretty low at the time compared to their highs. So hopefully Lucid can kind of get it going, but we'll definitely have to kind of wait to see some more data on this one.
All right, and then we have Jacktastic asking about ASTR. He said it's a space play, kind of like SPCE and Blue Origin. They had some successful launches recently and some mid-August launches. So ASTR has been beaten down a lot over the past couple months. I don't think it's a horrible play, but I don't know, it's just not a play for me. If anything, maybe sell some puts on it because the IV is high, so you can get a pretty good deal. Like if you go to the options chain, I can see like for August 20th, you can sell the $7.50 put for around like $40 or so, which isn't bad. I mean, it's not really a play for me, but like I don't think it's horrible.
Yeah, I don't think it's horrible either. At least you're catching a sector that could get some hype into it, especially if those test flights start to go well. So I think a better way to do it is just to maybe like wait to see how those test flights go. I'll just be honest, the chart is not looking too hot on them for the past year or so. They did have some nice moves, like about 6 months ago, but they really kind of broke those supports, unfortunately.
For sure. So Tom, do you have any last minute stocks or anything you're watching for tomorrow?
I'm definitely going to be watching LCID Lucid. I think that could still have a pretty good move tomorrow, maybe. And I'll definitely have my eyes on them. And it's interesting that they have an options chain, even though, they just came on the market. I know me and you were talking about that a little earlier, but that's cool to see that they actually have the options already, which is nice. I'm definitely going to be watching Mara and Riot. Bitcoin are really starting to fly up. I would expect Mara to maybe come up and retest this 35 support or 35 resistance, I should say, sometime very soon. But I really like that play. And then as far as earnings go tomorrow after close, I'm really interested in AMD's earnings. I think that's going to be very interesting considering that they're a semiconductor stock and there's been like those shortages lately. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see how those go. And then 3M reports tomorrow before the market opens. And they're one of my favorite longer term stocks. And hopefully they can report some good stuff. I know that they were helping a lot with COVID, like making masks and stuff. So hopefully that kind of helped them out on their EPS.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you want to trade with Tom, the bot, and myself every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below. Daily swing trades, day trades, plays from the bots, custom bots, order flow activity. Definitely check it out. It's that first link in the description down below. You can cancel at any time, and the trades have been pretty good lately, so definitely check it out. If you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to join Tom and I live every single day at Market Open on the Stocked Up Live YouTube channel. The link for that is in the description down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.